to the We Rock podcast, episode 40. Here we are. We made it to 40. This is a big time, I guess. Is that what we call this? Do we call this big time, or are we just spinning our wheels?
Well, I mean, you can still spin your wheels and still be moving forward. So,
well, I mean, at least we're moving one way. Well, it doesn't mean we're moving forward. But sure. I think you can, if you're going uphill, up a steep enough hill, you could spin your wheels and forward and still be going backwards too. So,
true story. I've done it.
Oh man, so here we are. It's and there's been a lot going on.
Unfortunately, there's been a lot going on.
There has been, and I do want to start off. You and I kind of talked about this a little bit. Sad news. I want to kind of talk about a little bit of what's going on here in the state of Texas. Everybody around the world knows. Since our last podcast, there's been a lot of things going on here in Texas, and not the least of these are the effects of what's going out in our beloved hill country, out that way. And so we all know about the girls at Camp Mystic, as well as the half dozen other camps that are out there that got affected. And just a super devastating thing. And it hits home for me. It's an area that I go out, fairly frequently. And we go out there, man, a lot of times once a year, at least every other year, whether we're going to Fredericksburg to wine country or go float the river in Concan. You've heard me talk about it here before, and all that's right there. Everything's right there. So.
Yeah, the guy that was the best man in my wedding, he lives not far from that area, and he's still going out at least a few hours a day, still trying to find bodies and just walking the riverbanks where it flooded over, probing through brush piles that have accumulated from the flood. Yeah. I even had another friend that lived right there in Kerrville, and he whenever he stepped outside of his house, the water was basically right there to his house. It never flooded his home, but that's where it came to. And he heard screaming from a tree, not far out from his house. And he had some family members tie a rope off on him, and he swam out there to her and brought her back in. And she floated probably 4 or 5 miles. And the last wherever she went in at, she was with her parents, and the parents were never found. Yeah.
Man, it's tough. There's so many stories that way. And I know, like, when we heard it, I had actually contemplated firing up the truck and headed that way. And man, but there were so many resources and so many helpers, and I was going to take the big crane truck so I could help move stuff and whatnot. But I'm like, I'm just one more thing in the way at that point, because there were so many people. And I will say that, if I said it after Harvey, when Harvey hit Houston, so the world's about to see how strong Texas is. You and I know this growing up here. Both of us are multiple generations of native Texan, and I go back 6 generations here, and it's you want to see when the rubber meets the road, Texans will step up and they'll do it. And that doesn't mean other areas won't as well. But it's, when Harvey hit, I said, the world is about to see how resilient, not just the people of Houston are, but the people of Texas are. And the same thing here. Our hearts hurt for those families and everything out there. But the people of Texas and all of our folks out that way, we pray for them. We don't forget the folks out in San Angelo. Those floods are pretty devastating over there as well. While a lot of the attention is out there in Kerrville because of the loss of life, there's a lot of damage out there in San Angelo. In fact, some monument friends of ours, the Burke Monument, it suffered some losses as well out that way. Not life, but just financial, which is fortunate. I'd rather, if you're going to have one, the insurance will cover it.
Oh yes.
But a lot of devastation. There's a lot of cleanup out that way, and so it is what it is. I hate it, but we'll stick beside them, and Texas will come back, and that area will come back too. It's happened before. Actually, interesting little tidbit. My mom was telling me during the midst of all that, she said, "You don't remember being out there before?" I said, "What are you talking about? I go out there all the time." Apparently, when I was a kid, we left the day before the '87 flood.
Oh, wow.
Like we were there, and my dad kind of got this, let's go. And then we left. So we had just been there.
Wow.
But so we'll move on from that, but I just wanted to bring that up. I know, a lot of people have asked and said, what can they do? Man, if you're going to send money out that way, send it to the local charities. I know there's one for the Hill Country that specifically says something about Hill Country community. Send it that way. Don't send it to one of the big ones or like that, just because it's not going to go directly to the people that needs to. But don't forget the folks out in San Angelo. They're not the people in Kerrville and Hunt and Ingram and all of that. They've been absolutely blessed beyond measure when it comes to donations and things coming that way. The people in San Angelo, unfortunately, have somewhat been forgotten. So look out that way. I don't know who to send it to. I'm sure you could reach out to Burke Monument out that way and ask them who they want it to. But I know that there's Salvation Army and Red Cross and stuff like that out that way too. So, but be praying for them. Keep them in your prayers. But as we move on to other things, though, we've had a lot happen in the last couple of weeks. Of course, the last one we recorded was at the convention.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was a great show. I had a great time.
It turned out to be one of the better ones we've had in quite a while, especially whenever you look at it from the standpoint of the vendor turnout, which I don't think you could have shoehorned another vendor into that place. And then on top of that, just the retailers that showed up. It was a really good showing for us. And more than anything, it was great to see a bunch of new faces there and getting to meet them, welcome them into the group. And I really hope that they took a lot from that and they want to remain active with it. I hope to see them at the next one and the one after that, and the one after that, and just so on and so forth.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it for a long time. It's one of the statements I've made forever. It's I'd rather be the meth dealer. The first one's on me. Let's get you hooked.
We did do that a little bit.
I think so.
Not meth though.
Not with meth. No. It's what was it? I was watching Fox and Friends yesterday, and Lawrence goes, I like Mexican Coke. Coca-Cola, Mexican Coca-Cola. It just
both are two staple products of our show.
But no, it was a great show. Great turnout, man. I think there's things that, of course, we're going to have a board meeting. I'm sure the board meeting is going to happen next week while we're both on vacation.
Don't worry. Jason can be proxy for both of us.
We're going to get a text message from him in the middle of it. Y'all are voting my proxy. And we're like, about that. But no, yeah.
Last summer, whenever we had our Zoom board meeting after the convention, I was in San Francisco for our yearly summer trip that we do to go chase down another couple of ballparks. And I guarantee it's probably going to happen because next week I'm going to be in New York chasing a couple ballparks up there. And more than likely, I'm going to have to pull out the iPad and sit in for a Zoom call for a little bit.
I'm not doing it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing it. There's not Wi-Fi where I'm going. So there really is. I'm just not going to turn it on.
Right. you probably got to pay extra for it there. Sure.
That's yeah. Mm-hmm. So no, man, it's it was a great convention, great turnout. I know you're really disappointed with the outcome of a lot of it. Just highly disappointed.
Yeah,
I think the awards, especially. I think your feelings got a little hurt.
I'm trying to think best how to put this because obviously, if you haven't picked up on it yet, there is a pretty heavy bit of sarcasm in Tony's voice at the moment. Because yes, the award banquet, of course, it was we did it offsite at Texas Day Brazil, had a great time there. And the only downside is that it was loud in there, and
oh gosh,
you could barely hear anything that anybody on the mic was saying. And
however, did you hear about where the mic came from? That's
a good story there.
Mad credit to Matt Worthington on that one, because it was already loud, and we're trying to figure out how to announce things, and people were already complaining. I mean, the food was great, the drinks were great. Huge shout out to EGA for really taking care of that, and really making sure we were good and sudsed up.
Mm-hmm. But EGA really stepped up, because especially going off site, we really couldn't do the drink tickets like we've done in the past. Yep. And of course there it's a restaurant, and that it was going to be such a mess trying to keep up with that. EGA stepped up and just said that they would cover the drinks for the evening. And
and so it was great. But and I'm sure they were probably a bit more affordable at a restaurant over the hotel. So,
especially, of course, we know from sitting on the board and the meetings that we've been in that if we wanted a gallon of tea at the hotel, it was going to be $130 for a gallon of tea.
Yeah, and they won't let you bring in the tea from Chicken Express and just set it on the counter. So,
which would have been better.
100%. Yeah.
But anyways, back to the banquet. And you had a terrible night too, by the way.
Yeah, well, the funny thing about it is I tried to have a terrible night.
See, that right there, even whenever Tony the Watson tries to sabotage himself, it still doesn't work. And if anything, take that as a feather in your hat to how accomplished of a designer you are. And I know, and on a serious note, I know there's a lot of people that look to you and ask you questions, look for inspiration, and I'm even in that crew too. So
I appreciate it.
You've done a lot to help people along the way,
and I appreciate it. And it's I'm not a rising tides lifts all ships kind of guy, because I'm a capitalist. So, but it's. But no, I mean, I'm happy to help. In the end, it helps out other families and things like that. But no, we were fortunate enough to bring home a couple awards. Mm-hmm. But just as always, it's always weird bringing home an award that you made. So,
yep. And of course, since you were in charge of the awards, you already knew what the outcome was before we went there. And of course, I didn't. And one, it was very humbling to receive the awards that I did receive, because I'm not in it like you for the awards. So to me, it's personal validation for the blood, sweat, and tears I poured into my business and trying to help these families tell their stories, and being recognized by my peers for that. It's very humbling, and I really do appreciate everybody looking at the work that I've done and thinking that it's worth something.
Yeah,
it means a lot. But I will also say that it was one of the most awkward experiences of my life, because you and I went together on putting the awards together. You built half of them. I built the other half so it all goes together.
Mm-hmm.
And you were up there announcing the awards, and I would go back there and I would assemble them and I would bring them out. And it was either I handed the award to you or I kept it.
Yeah.
And so here it is. Everybody knows.
It becomes this dog and pony show of us standing up there looking like epic douchebags. Here you go. Here's your award.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to sit down and go home, or pour me another drink, and just there was an award contest, guys, or design contest. Y'all don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Oh gosh. But in the end,
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because yours is finish off what you're going to.
Well, what I was going to say is especially the new format that we did, having it online versus people having physical copies. I think it resulted in a much higher turnout than we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And it was so much more of a streamlined process, but
the votes, what was crazy about that is the votes were absolutely, there was no ballot stuffing. Even in my shop, we have a rule. We don't vote on our own stuff. It does not happen. The girls here at the office know not to. Emily, who voted, does not vote on our stuff if she knows it's ours. In fact, the only time I broke that rule this time was on one, and I'll tell you exactly which one it was.
Oh, it was for James's.
It was for James's.
Absolutely.
I voted on James's because it was. I vote for what I feel like is the best and whatnot, and unless it's mine, I pick the next one. So,
and of course, we're not hiding the ball about it or anything. That you and I both came away with every award that there was to give there, but it was stiff. There was some stiff competition.
Look, and I actually went and talked to Jeremiah because
yes,
I went and talked to Jeremiah, and I didn't. Jeremiah is the only other individual other than myself who's actually seen the vote totals because I didn't show them to you, but I had to show them to Jeremiah because on a couple of them he was right there. He was right there. In fact, I don't remember which one it was, but you had taken one of the ones you had won, and then he and I tied for second place.
Oh, wow.
And so he needed to know. I mean, because it's the validation of not just like, hey, look, I could have won. It's that step of understanding that this is where it needs to be. The elements, the elements are there. Now you're going to have some give and take, and a lot of those votes were within one or two, and so it could have flipped anyway based upon somebody's just desire, what they liked. It could have changed based on the photo that you took and you used. So it's super simple on a lot of that, and you have to realize that the numbers are so that you're looking to see, am I on the right track for the families I'm serving? And that's all I care about. That 100%. That's the only thing that really matters. If I can do this for the families that we serve, then great.
Oh yeah, and like of course, having a business, you want to show off to the public that you serve. Whenever you do have recognition like that, and in the post that I put up, I think the way I worded it is that we're not designing to win awards, but whenever your standards are high, sometimes the awards like this will follow. And we're doing it to help tell these family stories. We're showing the love that they put into the stories that they tell us that we then translate into stone.
Yeah, and that's what it is that the family doesn't care when they walk in your door that you've got an award. It just doesn't mean anything to them. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for closure. The only time
that it matters if you win an award is if you win an award with a particular design and you tell that family, hey, this is what this one was recognized for. And it just lets them know that what they worked with you, because obviously we just can't draw them up out of thin air. We have to hear the input from the families that they know that it was meaningful and that message carried. And especially the one that I won with, that was a family member of my own family. It was a second or third cousin of mine, but as soon as
I didn't realize business was so bad that you've got to go get family to buy them.
I mean, if you can't sell the family, who else can you sell to? Yeah, but no, it was a great time, and of course, again, I know we've beat this horse to death, and we're going to beat it some more, but there's still a contingent of people out there that say that it's not worth going to these conventions, and I'm just going to tell you right now, you're dead wrong. That especially coming to these conventions, you never know who you're going to meet, and of course, I'm not saying go to win the awards, but by all means, design to try to win them. Push yourself.
I think and I would say that the design contest and all that stuff is not even tertiary. It's so far down the list of importance of reasons to go. It's the design contest. The whole reason I continue to put it on and continue to do that stuff is so people can see other designs. You get a feel for what everybody else is seeing and what everybody else is doing. That's genuine and direct. Instead of going, because other than that, the only gallery you see of stuff is your cemetery. That you serve, the cemeteries you serve, where in this you can see the cemeteries all over Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, so forth.
Oh, and at least use it as inspiration for future ideas.
Yeah. Man, I remember whenever somebody did that and it worked.
And I know for an absolute fact that if you see something in the design contest, whether it won, it didn't win, and if you want to know who did it, and you get to find out who did that, because obviously we keep it anonymous during the voting process. But I know, like me, you, Jeremiah, others, if you see something you like and you want to make a version of that, by all means, come talk to us.
Yeah,
we're willing to help. And again, that's why you and I are sitting here talking right now. We're not doing it because we just love the sound of our voice. To a lot of people's, surprise, we do it because we want to help.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of really it. Is if we're going to preach and say education's important, we're going to show you that education's important and show you the ways to open the doors for that. Which is why we're so headstrong when it comes to the value of SMBA, but there's also things like AICA, but and MBNA as well that's out there. So there's things that you can go to and avenues in which you can learn. And I know everybody's going to go, well, they did this or they did it. Look, I'll use MBNA as an example because they're the one that takes the hit the most. But MBNA is an association for hundreds of monument shops, right? Yes. It's not just your opinion that matters; it's all of them. So they've got to fit to everybody. But what I will say is that they do care,
yes,
and they are trying. I think that was pretty relevant with some of the stuff that we talked to some of their leadership.
Yep.
That weekend was.
Oh yeah, and of course, like you said, they're the ones that end up taking the majority of the hits. And trust me, MBNA knows about a lot of the gripes people have, especially with some of these topics, and they are working hard to address them. I will give them full credit for that. Another thing people need to understand is that they are an organization that just cannot snap their fingers and bow to the will of what a few individuals are saying. There is a process that they have to go through in order to make change. Like, don't hate on them that bad. They are trying.
Yeah. No, and I know I get frustrated with them too. So don't think I'm sitting here being the blowing the dog whistle or whatever. It's I get my frustrations with some of the things that they do, but again, I'm one person. I don't get to sit and dictate what everybody's doing and what happens for them or not.
I have my own frustrations with SMBA, and I'm the vice president of it.
Yeah.
You're a board member.
Yeah. But again, it still goes. I'm one voice. And I'm a loud voice, but that doesn't mean my voice carries more weight. It just means I'm
No, it's funny. Anytime that you and I have ever been anywhere, and I've lost track of where you're at or whatnot, I'll just stand still for a little bit and just kind of listen. Like, he's over that way.
All the time. My kids are like, I know where you're at when you're there at the convention because I can hear your laugh.
Oh, yeah. But especially talking about attending the conventions, sometimes there's going to be some surprises that you come away with. And one of them for me was I won a monubench while I was there in a drawing that was from Angel Granite out of Elberton, Georgia. The rep that was there, his name's Mike Scoggins. He's a great guy. And whenever I saw the picture of the monubench, I didn't look at the size of it. And I was like, oh, that's a cool little piece. And literally one day after I got home, that thing was here at my shop. And I uncrated it, and the die on the side's 4 foot tall, and the base it sets on is like 6.5, 7 foot wide. It's
oh
huge.
My word!
And I did that just from having a conversation with a vendor there, and of course they happen to have a giveaway that he told me to sign up for. But I know a lot of people, some of the objections that you hear sometimes whenever it comes to going to the conventions is the financial obligation, of course, of registering, travel, rooms, everything like that. Well, as soon as that thing sells, I will make money going to that convention. Yeah. And Of course, is it going to happen for everybody? No. But that's another thing whenever it comes to the banquet side of things, the door prizes that are given away. Sometimes you can win anything from a small gift card all the way up to a good-sized headstone, which I say it doesn't happen for everybody. It's been happening to me. The previous year, I won one of the boulders from Cold Spring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I wanted a Masabi piece from Cold Spring years ago and sold it. I think it sat here for a little bit, but we finally sold it a handful of years ago and put it out. And man, I made good money on it. You know, free rock's great. Love free rock. You know?
Yeah, I wish more vendors would just give me free rock on a regular basis.
Yeah,
I'll pay the shipping.
So yeah, it was. I mean, it was a really good show. Of course, there is one extra thing that you brought home that you haven't brought up yet, and it's this fancy little decorative piece that that I think you can carry around with you now. Is that right?
I can wear it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now of course, going back to the design contest, we, amongst one of our many conversations that we've had, I think you or I suggested at one point in time that we said that the top award, the overall award, which we'll get to the name here in a sec, we said that rather than just being done by popular vote, it would be judged by a separate panel, made up of AICA members that judge it based upon the bullet points of how designs are scored in AICA. And fortunately, and not fortunately, but I was humbled to be picked. I was very humbled because it was kind of funny because I was sitting in on that panel, and I stayed pretty quiet during that time just because I knew I had a design in there, and you did as well. The only thing you sat there did was work the iPad and describe the pieces to people and the names that went along with it. But it got narrowed down to 3 designs: one of yours, Kevin Laird's, and then mine. And you said, okay, well, the 3 that have been picked, the 3 individuals are sitting at this table right now, and I think we need to step out. And so we stepped out, and then of course it was picked. And the funny thing is, you say earlier about it's kind of weird bringing home an award that you designed yourself. That the pedestal that buckle sets on, I spent a good bit of time carving out that little shelf that the plate sets in and things like that. Yeah. And of course, I made it here at my shop, and I brought it here back to my shop, and I'm very proud of it. I'm actually very, very proud of it, especially to be picked in the manner that it was picked. And on top of that, whenever you and I were talking about that it needed to be something different from just the plaques that are given out for the other awards, you and I settled in on it being a belt buckle. And you and I, we worked back and forth to get the design tuned into exactly what we thought it should be. And I remember whenever we were getting ready to go to the convention and we knew what the buckles were going to look like, and you said, what if people don't like it? And I told you, I said, I don't care. I think this is amazing. And like I said, I'm just proud and humbled, really. Yeah, because
you should be. That was a really good piece.
Especially the design that the 2 that I was up against that had been narrowed down to being yours and Kevin's. I could give you reasons why those should have been picked over mine. They were stout, just incredibly put together designs.
I think you earned every bit of that, and I think you should be proud of it. And and I think if I'm going to be ticked off if I don't see Mike Riley wearing his belt buckle that he got for the same thing.
I put it in the mail yesterday, so he should have it this coming week. The funniest thing that came out of it though is I won't mention his name, but he's another supplier that we're friends with. That the evening after the awards ceremony, he told me, he said, I think the funniest thing is that now you're going to have to convince a Yankee to wear a belt buckle.
Yeah. I think if he doesn't wear that to conventions, I swear I'm going to harass him.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's required. He's already said he's going to. So
we'll see.
We'll see what a belt buckle looks like with a dress belt.
But no, it was a really good convention. And, of course, there's all kinds of things to see and do. I ended up buying into, I tried to buy different things. I finally bought one of those American flag top stones that was there. I've been looking at those forever. But, excuse me. The other thing I bought was there's a new vendor there called One Trip Dolly. And they've got
neat guys. They
got an electric dolly, and there used to be an electric dolly years ago that I haven't seen in a long time, and I don't know whatever happened to it. Not I owned one, but one existed and somebody manufactured it. But this One Trip dolly is really cool, and I mean, he brought it by the shop and here, and we tested it, and I mean, I put it through the ringer. I told him, I said, I'm not going to be gentle with this, and we weren't. In fact, to the point where he recorded some videos or whatever, but there's one video that I had taken, there's one video he didn't record, and what we had done is we took a die, and it was a 4x6x2 mahogany piece, and I left it on the dolly, and there's a grassy area behind my shop that you've seen, and I literally opened that throttle way up and just let that thing ride. And it rolled down, and it stayed true until it hit a pothole that's in the grass back there and flipped over. But no problems. It was great. Didn't damage the stone, didn't damage the dolly, nothing. So yeah, I bought one. Great tool.
Well,
I think it's
going back to why you should come to these things is that vendors like that run show specials.
Yeah, I think he was 38. Is that what it was? Something like that. Does it sound right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So it was the show special, and it's a great little tool. For us, it's going to be great for going over curbing. But he's got a set of ramps for that so that we can get it up and over. I told him, I said, you need to take it out to, show the guys up in the Northeast, more specifically like the Carolinas, Tennessee, Kentucky, up to West Virginia and Ohio, place where they have things called hills, something, whatever those things are.
Right.
Appalachia, where they've got some vertical slopes.
You got to go down in the hollers.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good show. But of course, the big topic that kind of showed up there that everybody kind of was on was about consolidation. That kind of came up a few times, and you and I've talked a little bit about it because it's been the big thing for a year. And I don't know, I maybe you can correct me if you think I'm off base, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody's making it out to be. I think I would rather consolidation over new companies starting up, right?
Correct.
Because it's not creating a new competitor.
Right. The number of brick and mortar locations basically remains the same with a few little caveats to that.
Yeah, and so you've got the same number of companies. You've got somebody else trying to run it from afar. Actually, I think that depending upon your area, that may actually benefit you. I know a lot of these areas, those folks like to shop local. And when they find out that it's not locally owned, they kind of go, no, who is local that owns it?
You should be doing due diligence on your part, especially if you are competing with a satellite store of a larger company. Yep. You should be doing your due diligence to inform your public that you are a locally owned shop.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I mean, like the ones that are doing it here in Texas, this is going to be an unpopular opinion with a few of our friends, but I don't really care. But the guys that own them are good guys.
They are.
They are. You're not going to like them. Yeah, they're good people. And what they do is different than what I do. And they know that. I know that. But the good news about it, and what I've told one of our other acquaintances, was their prices are higher than what company they bought out. So they just brought up the median average of what the products are. Your prices don't look so high now. So, and you go, man, this is great. I think, I don't think it's bad. I do see an area where it is bad, and that is an area that should be paid attention to. And the area where I feel like it is bad is for the suppliers.
Correct.
Because the suppliers, when this happens, are losing customers. So unless you're a supplier of one of those larger companies, you've lost, X number of dollars per year that was kind of guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this stuff's kind of been coming for a while, because I've kind of pointed out for the last 10 or 15 years that there's a big age gap between owners, like monument builder owners.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was there's a lot of those folks that were in that 70s range that are currently in their 70s and so forth. And then it kind of jumps down to us, 40s to, and younger.
Mm-hmm.
And that range that's in there between mid 40s up to late 60s, that is a small group of monument guys.
Yep.
They exist, but it's not that many. And we kind of had seen the writing on, at least I had seen the writing on the wall, that there was going to be either a lot of shops closed down or a lot of consolidation, or at least changing hands.
Yes.
And it was going to come. You kind of had known that was going to happen, because something had to happen. It wasn't just going to disappear.
Right.
I mean, some will, but that's not many of them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's just the way things go, that especially some of these shops that are generations deep, some of them, spanning, anywhere from 4 to 6 generations. Some of them, there's just no family left interested that wants to take the helm, and they're forced with do I just part the place out and sell it for parts, or do I reach out to one of these individuals that have been consolidating shops?
Yeah.
And I'm in the same boat as you, that I don't view this as an evil in the way that some people see it.
Yeah.
Because especially in, some instances to where they've bought an existing shop and it just continues to run, like you said, we haven't added another one to the number. It's just still there. Now it's lost its lineage. And that's one thing that I've wondered with them is, do they have any negative perception that they have to deal with whenever people realize that this isn't the hometown store anymore?
Right. But in the same breath, it's that local tie-in. I mean, that's why, like, you've done it, I've done it. You sponsor your local stuff, and local baseball, little league teams and things like that. And
I was going to say, how many times have you seen your company name on the back of some kid's shirt?
Yeah.
Jersey, shirt, whatever.
Those things mean a lot. And even some of the big companies, it's no surprise that Dave Pace of Brookhaven is a big company.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bunch of outlets all over Mississippi. One of these, if he's not the biggest, he's the second biggest monument guy in Mississippi.
Yep.
Because I don't know if it's him or Columbus Marble and Granite, but he's got outlets all over the place. But you know what they do well is they take care of, though each one of those stores is, one, named for what it has been. They haven't changed the name, and two, they take care of the local community there in doing sponsorships and things. And so he does, for a big company, he does a very good job of making it feel like a small hometown company. And really they are, because they are run by small local folks that have been there. So,
but if you are concerned about it, the one thing you need to do is just know how to set yourself apart.
Yeah, it's playing chess, not checkers. Mm-hmm. If you don't know how to play chess, I can't help you.
And I'm not saying that some of these companies that have consolidated into larger ones and the parent companies, that they're incapable of doing good work, because obviously they are capable of doing good work. the thing that I think sets people like them and us apart is we're going to be a lot more specialized in what we do.
Yep.
We are going to push for more intricate designs, more things that are going to require quite a bit more effort to produce, because we're not doing volume like they are.
Right.
And volume. And I'm not trying to throw shade at these people, but for the volume mindset, the cookie cutter is the way that has to go.
Well, it's not that they can't, but they have to have a specialty group to do custom stuff and unique things that they can't. That process is going to be slow. Versus you've chosen A, B, or C out of your catalog, put names and dates on it, get it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, we're going to blow it in and get it moving and whatnot, and that's fine. Some people, that's what they want. It's get it done and get out of here. But that's not my clientele. And so that's where I do well. And none of those guys bother me because
it could be your clientele. It's just that you have a different approach to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you do not set a catalog down in front of them and say A, B, or C.
No.
And again, I know they're capable of it. I've seen them do work, do some excellent work. But
even still, like another good example of this is we had a young lady come in today. This is about the time we were getting slammed, I was telling you about. So we had a lady come in today, and she read about us on a Facebook post because she lost her infant son. And she'd posted onto a women's group or something like that in Facebook and was asking where to get a monument. I'm not in the women's group. It was shown to me by my wife and by Janine and so forth. But they stayed out of the conversation, let the conversation just happen. And because of the people we've taken care of, now there were some people that talked about some of the other shops here, but the comments about us more than doubled the number of comments of all the others combined.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is that? It's not because we do custom stuff. It's because, and it doesn't mean that the other companies don't care.
Right. But
it does mean that we put a premium on how we handle a family. And I'll speak for, the other guy. I can only speak for one of the other companies in that particular office because I know them well, and they genuinely care, and they genuinely do everything they can to take care of families.
Mm-hmm.
But we are just much more visible about what we do because of the custom stuff. So it comes out even further. So that young lady, little girl, I didn't mean that. That young lady came in today and said, I had seen this on Facebook, and I had seen all your reviews and read your reviews. And so I said, I've got to come here and deal with you. And we talked to her. She brought a picture of just a standard teddy bear monument that she'd seen online somewhere. Said, I can't find anybody who has this anywhere. And says, I said, ma'am, that I can't. In fact, it's funny. One of our suppliers happened to be here in office while she was here. I said, ma'am, that's a pretty standard design. In fact, I'll tell you, this Ryan Kilby was in here with his dog that attacked me. No, but Ryan was in here, and I said, I guarantee you, if he doesn't have one in stock, he probably would. And he pulls up his inventory right there, and he said, I've got 3 in this color, 2 in this color. So I said, so we can get that as soon as you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but we can personalize it however you want. We can make something different. I said, but once you understand the principles of what a cost is, right? Shape, size, color, polish, any add-ons like porcelain pictures and vases. Once you understand those principles, you're in control. You're in the driver's seat, not me, because the price that I give you is based upon this having a little bit of customization in the square footage of amount of stone that's being used.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take a teddy bear monument and we just change this design of the teddy bear monument, but we're in the same square footage of material, I didn't change the price of it.
No.
And I said, so we can do whatever you want. If that's what you want, then we will absolutely do it. If you want to change, then we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
But she was just, I said, you could tell that, I mean, we kind of put her on information overload. But I said, look, you don't need to do this today. You can. I mean, we'll kind of get you started and we'll show you kind of things, but you don't need to do this today.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that I tell a lot of people, that if there is one piece of advice that I can give you throughout this process, is take your time.
Yeah.
Do not feel like you need to rush into any sort of decision, because the last thing that I want is for whatever I produce for you, whenever it is finally out in the cemetery, you go out there and look at it and you have the shoulda, coulda, woulda thought. And
I have this mindset when it comes to it, because it's like when they go into the funeral home, and I don't mean like the funeral home's trying to rip them off or cheat them out of stuff or whatever, but because of what a funeral is, there is a clock counting down. Mm-hmm. You've got to get to the funeral service. You have a limited amount of time to make a decision.
Their scheduling has to be done.
There's a lot that goes on. So you get pressured on a lot of things. Make a decision. What casket do you want? We got to get it ordered because we got to get it here. What flowers do you want? All that kind of stuff. It becomes like a different kind of information overload. You got to make decisions, and it's going to wear you out. So you already get that impression of the same thing when it comes to buying a monument. Mm-hmm. And I always tell them, look, what I don't want is for you to get to that place where you may have gotten with Dad in his service, where you go, why did we buy those flowers? Dad hated flowers. He always felt like it was a waste of money.
And a lot of people have that thought.
Yeah, we bought all those flowers and spent, I don't know what a flower package is at a service.
It's expensive.
I'm going to go, man, I may say expensive, but I may be way off. I'm going to go $1,500 is what we spent on flowers, and they're all dead. Mm-hmm. You know, they're all dead. They're all gone. We don't have any more of them. Mm-hmm. Why did we spend that money? That money could have gone towards other things. And I tell you right now, I'm going on record right now. If any one of, and y'all hold my family accountable, if any of them spend that kind of money on flowers and not on, like, I don't know, a new firearm, you hold them accountable for it. Just
it's solid.
So, but it's all of that stuff goes into play. Once you realize what they're going through, mm-hmm. it changes that dynamic. So all that to come back to what we're talking about before, control your role in your market.
Yes.
And don't worry about the consolidation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, just as you had an experience today, I had an experience earlier in this week, and it was right after I posted the design of the headstone that I won the Teak Award with in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. I posted it about 4:30 that day, got my truck, and whenever I was about 2 minutes away from my house, I already had an email. And
wow,
a customer not a customer yet, but a potential customer saw it, and her message to me was saying that from what she's seen, it looks like that we're capable of doing custom work that is unlike other things that she's seen in the cemetery. And she said that she had already been talking to a competitor of mine, and she said the communication has just basically come to a standstill. And it's because this one has glass in it that mm-hmm. she wants. It's going to have a custom made cross that her son is making, and she wants that attached, incorporated either into the glass or the stone or whatnot. And what she had heard from the company that she was talking with was, aside from not hearing much, was we don't know. And yeah. I told her, I said, yes, everything that you're requesting, it is entirely capable of being done. And on top of that cross that your son's making, I said, there's a couple different options we can do. I said, one of them, I have a friend that he's a bit and spur maker. He can forge bronze, and I would recommend it being made out of bronze just so we're not worried about rusting. And which I shelved that idea pretty quick whenever I found out that her son, he's still in high school, and he's doing his metal art as a little side job.
Okay.
And there was a lot more meaning for it to be his actual piece. And I told her, I said, well, I can reach out to a company that we can have it thermal coated in bronze then. So now we don't have to worry about the rusting. And she loves that idea. And I think she's already called that other company back and told them just forget what we've talked about.
Shove it.
Yes. And again, it goes back to like what you said. It's just the approach you have with the families. And it's not wanting to rush them out of your shop. It's wanting to sit here and spend sometimes an absorbent amount of time in order to get them exactly what they're looking for.
I guess the question needs to be, how would you want to be served in that situation?
Exactly.
And that really needs to be it, is how I often make the joke to my families that, look, I'm not a used car salesman, and I'll tell them, I'm sorry if somebody in your family is, but
they would understand.
Yeah. But I'm not here to say, what do I got to do to get you into this today?
Right.
And once you get that and you get through that concept, you go, okay, I understand where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you get to this place where you go, all right, now I understand I'm not being pressured. I can walk away at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I think the consolidation is going to happen. You can like it. You can not like it. It doesn't matter, because if you're not the one doing the consolidation, that just means you don't have the money to do it, or the desire to do it. The people who have the money to do it and the desire to do it are going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get to say boo about it, because it still is a free economy to do what you want.
Well,
so
one last thing about that is you need to treat it the same way that you need to be treating cremation.
Yep.
That whether you love it, like it, hate it, whatever, you have to accept it for what it is, that it's here to stay, and it's going to continue to grow. And if you don't alter your business to run in line with that, then you're just going to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, that's it. Make yourself valuable. So, but on a different note, there's something else that I want to talk to you about, because it's come up. We learned about some education
which you
opportunities.
Are, we're big on education. We are.
We are. This is. So I kind of want to pick your brain on this.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, which is out for you and I, because we got 2 different trips going on. Cameron Moore is doing, and we were not. This is not sponsored. So, Cameron, understand if you don't like it. I don't care. We're going to harass you.
We do love you, though.
Yeah. Memorial Designer has a workshop for his education coming up in Cheyenne next week, July 21st and the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then in August 11th through the 12th, he's going to be in Dayton, Ohio. And then he's going to jump.
You want to go
to? Whoever says that they just goes, you know what? I really want to go to Dayton.
I don't think it's come up in conversation with me and my wife before.
I don't even know why I know the name of Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
Is there a sports team there?
Not that I'm aware of. Okay, so if we don't want to go to Ohio, is there anything else coming up?
Well, after that, he's jumping across the pond on September 4th and 5th to England. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But September 7th through 8th, he's going to Iceland.
Okay. I've never been to Iceland.
I've never been to Iceland. I think it could be fun. I have no idea what to expect.
Me either.
My
only question is if we get this all worked out and you and I show up there, how are 2 Texans in cowboy hats going to be received in Iceland?
Well,
will we be celebrities? Will we be, tarred and feathered and run out on a rail outside of town? Like what?
We could be the closest thing to the naked cowboy. I have no idea. So, but gosh, they're basically Vikings, aren't they?
Yes, 100%.
Are country folks that much different? We don't rape and pillage, I guess. So
no, we don't. I just looked at Buzzsprout because I was curious, and we currently do not have any listeners in Iceland.
Oh, see, it gives us the ability to go to a monument shop there in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
meet people from across the pond that are using Memorial Designer, that are doing design work, and get a better feel for what other countries are doing in design.
Mm-hmm. Be a great opportunity to just share ideas with one another. And I'm not saying they're going to adopt our style, because I look at their style of memorialization and I'm enamored by it. I think it's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Do they, and I've always wondered, do they look at our style of memorialization and say, these people are way off base?
Probably, because we cover our monuments in all kinds of stuff.
Stickers.
Or they let their monuments, the shape, speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
What is I'm gone to our so if you'll appreciate this, our non-sponsor, non-sponsor Perplexity, and we're going to ask, what is the common food of choice in Iceland?
Okay.
All right, let's see. Oh yeah. What
will we be dining on?
Well, there's the common food of choice in Iceland is shaped by the nation's abundant natural resources and historical isolation. Seafood is particularly central, with cod, haddock, and Arctic char.
Okay.
And I can't pronounce this, but it's basically Icelandic lobster being staples. Fish frequently is enjoyed with boiled potatoes and classic Iceland rye bread. That sounds phenomenal. Often served with butter. And then it says lamb is another mainstay of Icelandic cuisine, featuring prominently various forms of slow roasted lamb to smoked lamb and its traditional lamb soup. Iceland's free roaming sheep contribute to the population. So when you open up the images, the first image that comes up, one of them looks like sherbet, but then the other one is a plate with two onions and a lamb's head that has been boiled.
I'll try it.
I mean, it's not. Look, I eat barbacoa. It's not far off.
No, it's right in line with it.
Yeah.
What I was thinking, that if we do end up going over there, do we need to cold pack a brisket and get over there and find a guy with a smoker and smoke a brisket for him?
Ooh. Man, that would be awesome. I bet they would stop us from taking meat, though. Another food across the pond.
Yeah,
they tend to look down upon that kind of stuff.
I mean, it would be kind of neat, though. Bring a case of Shiner Box, smoke a brisket.
Yeah,
really make an impression. We will be made kings.
There you go. I think it'd be a blast. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
I'm 50-50 right now.
I'm contemplating it pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But the holdup is the fees and costs and stuff like that. It's also the time, that means skipping a football game and stuff like that I do with my kids. So and even probably one of James's football games. And that's kind of where some of it is. So I hate that. But, it's potential. There's potential there.
There's definitely potential. And one, it's just exciting for the opportunity to possibly go to Iceland, because I don't think I would ever end up going if I didn't do this.
Yeah.
So
because there's really nothing there other than just views.
Right. And also the opportunity to talk with people way outside of the boundaries of where we are.
Yeah.
And especially that do the same thing we do, and just to get their perspective on it. I'd be really, really interested in that.
Yeah. So other than that, man,
we may be doing a live episode from Iceland. You never know.
We may. That would be rather interesting.
Or the hot springs or whatever.
Right. Other than that, you came down here, I guess is more accurate.
Yeah. No, had a fun trip.
Good.
I did absolute blast of a trip. Got to finally put some faces to voices that I've heard before of people that you hang around regularly. That was a blast hanging out with those guys.
Yeah. And we went to town on a couple of bottles.
Oh yeah.
So you had a good old time and some just good friend time and all that. And then I showed you around a little bit around town. And
that Megan was even very, very like appreciative that you spent the time to take us around town, especially on campuses, and show us a lot of things. And of course, going to the resting place of George Senior Bush.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat to see. Of course, there's a lot of other things that we obviously didn't have the time for that we definitely will make time for, like whenever Aggie baseball rolls back around.
Yep.
We'll definitely make time to come down for that and make it a little more long form trip, because even though we were in College Station that one night, the next day was the big day.
Yep.
Of course, we went down to Houston to watch the Rangers play the Astros. Even though my team did not win, that was an incredible game.
That's what baseball is about. That one was it was great that the game that you and I went to together turned out the way it did, as far as being just a baseball guy's game.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't a blowout. Nobody was running away with it.
No.
Because the funny thing is, and you said you have a picture of me at some point in time, that it was funny whenever the Rangers would go up or whatnot. It's me and Carson standing up, and a few other Ranger fans dotted around us. And you would be sitting there just kind of looking around. And then, there it is. and then it would flip, and you would be the guy high-fiving people around you, and I'm just sitting down. Man.
Yeah. It was so much fun. It was funny. We had in front of us, so we had like a massive row. In front of us was this whole line, and there's a couple of Astros fans, but a bunch of Rangers fans there. And this big dude who's a loudmouth that's sitting right in front of me. And they just kind of disappeared in the seventh. And it was
and you and I were staring at or talking to each other, because they left. The people down to, a row down and to our left, they left.
Yeah.
And I think at that time the ball game was tied or within one.
Yeah.
And how can you walk out of a ballpark during that?
It's not like it was 18-1.
Right.
It's I don't know where I got that score. Where did I get that score from? Oh, that's right. That's what the Astros did to the Dodgers. Yeah.
That was awesome.
But no, so it was such a great game. Walked around the entire place. It was cool. They were doing a bunch of stuff for flood relief for the Hill Country. You and I bought into a few of those things and spent some money and whatnot. So, but just it was a great time. It was a great time with family, great time with friends, great ball game. Outcome was where it needed to be. It may not have turned out the way it needed to be for the weekend, but it is where it needed to be. So,
yeah, because like I said, and I told you this in our previous conversation, that of course we were there for James's birthday, and he was there. He was wearing his Astros jersey. He was into the game, and it was his birthday. He got to watch his team win, so I'm happy for him. But the game the day before the Rangers won, and the game the day after the Rangers won, so we at least still took the series. But James got his birthday present, so I'm happy.
Yeah. So, and it didn't really affect much because the Astros are still 8.5 games ahead of the Rangers. So
still 8.5. We're at the midway point, or just a hair past the midway point of the season. Still a lot of baseball left. It's still anybody's game, especially in the AL West. There's no clear cut, absolute like powerhouse at the moment. The top three in the AL West, it can go anyway.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and all it's going to take is a couple games against each other. It's going to start throwing things in a loop. But I'm pretty comfortable where we are. It's I think far enough ahead to catch a wild card. Because look, let's see. If you look across now, Toronto's up there, man. I'm surprised at Toronto. They're looking good. The Tigers are up there looking good. But even behind those guys, when you start looking, let's see, y'all are at 48 wins for the season currently. Of course, if you go to the AL East, you're everybody in the AL East is above 50 wins, with the exception of the Orioles that are sitting at 43. Central, you have the only one above 50 wins is Detroit Tigers. Everybody's 47 below. And the Sox are not even in question in the conversation. I don't think they've shown up to the ballpark. In the West, y'all are sitting at 48. And even, the Angels are not far behind y'all at 47. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is a tight run. Where it's 56 wins, but that can switch super fast. Mm-hmm. So, but there's still, I think if we were to drop out of first because of where everybody else is, there's a good chance for a wild card position. So,
mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And right now, like I was talking to another one of my friends that's a huge Rangers fan. We were talking about the current state of the season and that even if we cannot win the AL West, I'm fine with, but we are still in contention for wild card. I'm totally fine with that because that's exactly what happened in 23. We did not win the West. We took the wild card and then ran it all the way to the series.
That's it.
And
I've always said it's about when you get hot. And I've watched my family get all upset and they go, "Oh man, I lost." Nope. I don't want to get hot right now. This is not the point in time to get hot. You want to stay. You don't want to get cold. It's not when you want to get hot.
Well, and God forbid it, you have, some key players go down with injury during this crucial time, especially for we're on the now downhill slide of the season.
Yep. And right now we're pretty injured, so the guys, we did see a little bit of Altuve out there, but not much. And then
everybody always sees a little bit of Altuve.
Well, that's because all he is. Mighty Mouse was there. He hit the 2,500th home run in that ballpark while we were there.
I will say that was something that was cool to witness because that is a piece of baseball history to witness is the 2,500th home run in that ballpark. And it was Altuve that hit it. And it's hard not to be romantic about baseball.
It is. So you got to be there for that. And that was really cool. Jordan's out. He's not out for the season, but he's out for a little bit, been out for a while. Pena will be back at some point in time. He wasn't in there playing because he's got a couple of broken ribs. So we've got some key players that are still out that, we need to get back. Mm-hmm. So, but I think it'll be good. So, well, we got to wrap it up. I'm fixing to go on vacation, man.
Same here, man. I'm Sunday to Dallas, so we can stay the night in Dallas, and then Monday morning we're headed north to New York.
We're doing the opposite. So Sunday we're headed to Houston to stay the night in Houston, so that Sunday morning or Monday morning, bright and early, we can head to Cancun, sit on a beach.
There you go. I am looking forward to New York for one. I've been to New York State, but never actually been to New York City, so excited to go see a bunch of things there. And of course, while I'm there, going to go watch a Yankees game and then go watch a Mets game. And of course, still going to do some Monument talk because on Wednesday, we're supposed to meet up with Joe and go eat. So that's going to be fun.
The Don.
And Mikey told me he doesn't know if he's going to be able to make it to dinner, but he asked if we were going to the 9/11 museum and we said we were. And he said, let him know whenever we go there because he said that's like a 20-minute walk from his office.
Oh, wow.
So either way, I'm going to probably get to see both Joe and Mikey. Really looking forward to that.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, man, I'm envious of you. Those guys are awesome. Love those guys. And, I know they're going through a rough patch right now with some family stuff and pray for those guys and whatnot. But, man, hard to find better people. They are hearts of gold.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I was just telling one of the guys that I work with today about how I was excited to meet up with them, and I said you'd be hard pressed to find some more solid individuals.
Absolutely,
they have hearts of gold. They're there for you. They're all in for you all the time.
They when my dad was in the hospital, they were constantly checking on him, just constantly. Mm-hmm. So
it's funny because I don't talk with Joe extremely often. It's kind of sporadic. And whenever I called him the other day to let him know we was going to be in New York, he said, "Man, Austin, it's great to talk with you. First of all, how's the family?"
So no, good folks. You can't beat them. So, but Have a good trip. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to do something I haven't done in a number of years, and that's pretty much just turn my phone off.
There you go.
James and I are taking a glove and ball, and we're going to throw around on the beach, and that's going to be it. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
So,
but yeah, no, I'm going to hurry up and get this one edited because obviously I'm going to be gone next week. You're going to be gone next week. So whenever y'all hear this, we're getting ready to leave.
Yep. I'll be drinking on the beach. So enjoy yourself.
Right. Tony will post his Venmo if you want to buy him a drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy.
Have a good one.